Hi QA folks, today let's discuss the subject what does it mean to write a clean code. I'm going to give you some basics. So first of all, what is a clean code? Clean code is a code that is easy to read, understand and maintain. And I'm going to show you one of the examples that one of my colleagues submitted to our repo just this week. So it looks like this. By the way, I'm going to show examples in JavaScript, but all of that, everything that I'm saying can be related to or applied to Java as well. So this is what he committed. You see there are a bunch of empty lines between tests. Sometimes it's 3 lines, sometimes it's just none of them. And number of indents is different. 4 spaces, 2 spaces, empty line in the middle of a test, stuff like that. So this kind of code is hard to read, and it looks what I call ugly. So it means that for me it's saying that basically the person who committed it don't care about how he code look like, didn't clean up after himself, didn't align all the lines in terms of spaces and indents and everything. So, but anyway, this is what I received in my pull request. I rejected it and asked to fix everything. So let's start with first step. Use code formatters. Set indent size equals or tab space size equals to spaces, and turn on option format on save. And every time when you will be saving your code before committing it, it will your code editor will automatically format your code, align everything in terms of indents, and it's really will cost nothing to you. So for GS, I would recommend to use Prettier code formatter. It's one of the popular ones. For Java, you can import code style XML in your IntelliJ IDEA code editor, for example, or if you're using anything else, Java has this option for Eclipse code editor as well. So anyway, just install some kind of code formatter in your programming language. Now, what it gives you, and then go to settings, search for indent size, editor tab size. So here you see I have 2 and 2 spaces, and also format on save. Just put this checkbox, put a tick in this checkbox, format the file on save, formatter must be available, and so on. So what will it give you? It will give the following. You see right now changes, for example, are not saved. So, and you see, pay attention to this indent spaces, 2 spaces, 1 space, 4 spaces. When I press save, you see it's being aligned to needed indent size, 2 spaces. So everything is nice and clean in terms of alignment. And it will also add spaces between equals sign, between parentheses if something is missing in terms of spaces and so on. So it makes your code look much cleaner and easier to read. So this is what code formatter option will give to you now. Second point, do not put few empty lines between functions, put only one. So in this example, you see here, for example, there is no empty line before the first test scenario, 3 before the second. So let's move everything, let's clean it up, leave only one empty line, one, and you will see how it looks like at the end, before and after changes. So yeah, fix this thing. Then also do not leave empty lines inside the function body, use comments if needed. And I mean, do not leave empty lines in here. I don't know why it has this commented outline, but basically there shouldn't be any empty lines within the body. If you still want to separate some part of your long scenario, I would advise or suggest to use comments like step 1, step 2, but just do not leave empty lines, because it will break visually the structure where the one test begins and where it ends. I prefer do not leave empty lines inside. Now let's clean up everything else. We don't need this, we don't need this. Now you see, now it looks much better. We can clearly say when one test scenario is starting, where it ends, and looks much more clean and organized. Now, besides that, you can also use option to optimize imports, meaning that your code editor will determine if imports that you have in your file are used or not, and it will remove those that are not used. So in my case, it will be Control Option O. It's a shortcut for optimize imports. You see, it's removed all unused imports. Okay, now use camel case naming convention. Here, for example, you see that guy called variable product URL map. So first of all, yeah, let's take a look at types of naming conventions. So camel case means that each new word inside the name should start with uppercase first letter, but not the first one. So the first one will start with lowercase, and all other following words, for example, my name for person. So this is camel case. Pascal case, when everything, including first one, starts with uppercase, but it's not really used. And snake case, when you do not capitalize any letters, but you use underscore instead, underline symbol. It's also used, not really much used in JS or Java. So use camel case by default. And there is one exception for using uppercase to declare constants, something that is hard-coded. Usually it's been in all uppercase letters with underscore if you need to put between few words in one name, like this: base text equals 10. So it would be visible from the name that the value is hard-coded and is not calculated along the way. So this is a common rule among all of the programming languages, that if you have some constant, you should visually declare it in a bit different way, so it will be visible right away. This is a constant and not just a regular variable. So just a small advice here. Now, use meaningful names, variables, and functions. So first of all, let's fix this thing. So rename, convert to camel case. Now let's see what he's doing here. Here's also semicolon is missing at the end, here as well. So the function is called getPageWiseProducts. I'm not sure what it does based on its name. I don't know what it means, wise products for him. So let's go and see what it does inside. So basically it collects product names and product URLs. So to use meaningful names means that this function should be named and he returns map. Yeah, he declares maps and returns result map, new map. So the proper name for this will be get map of product names and rules. And then it will be easy to understand what this function does and what it returns. Because with this name, it's not clear that it returns map and what will be inside that map. So this is what, and also variable, I would call it as well to be more meaningful, like map of product names and rules, like this. Now we have a clear method name, much more meaningful, and meaningful variable name. That's what it means to have meaningful names. Now I will revert it. For now. The next item is reusability. If two or more lines of code is repeated more than once, then most likely you should extract it into a separate function. Let's see if we have something repeated more than once, even in test scenarios, not in page methods or something. It can be applied to any code file. Here, let's see, sign in with random row, click bestseller. Sign in with random row, click bestsellers. Also click on view, accept cookies, click on view, click bestsellers, click bestsellers, click bestseller. So at least these 3 lines of code are being repeated in almost all of the test cases. It means that we can extract it to a separate function for maintainability purposes, and we can do it like this. Function go to bestsellers, sign in, click bestsellers, wait. So we can replace this all 3 lines to wait, go to bestsellers. Here as well. Here I'm not going to touch it for now, it's a bit different one. I'm not sure why he needs this weight, additional weight. Here also a bunch of different amounts of weights. So I'm going to click bestsellers. Save one more time. So this is what it means to reuse your code. If you see something is repeated more than once, even here you can extract, go to bestsellers, click on view all, for example, because it's repeated here and here. Verify duplicate, verify price. By the way, going back to user meaningful names, here you can see he named function verify counter under bestsellers. So it's not really useful name. It's not really a meaningful name because it doesn't tell you what he verifies inside it. Because you can, who knows what you're going to verify inside counter. If it verifies that the counter on the top equals something, like some hard-coded values, let's see, so basically he hard-coded value 10. Also he has typo here. I don't know how he reviewed his code. I bet he didn't. So you see he basically checking that the size of some product names is 10. And in this case, this function should be called like assert that there are 10 products in best sellers or something like that. So in this case it will be clear right away what exactly this method checks. Otherwise it's not clear what he was verifying inside it. So yeah, it's just small improvements, but it will give you a lot of benefits. Again, first of all, install any code formatter that you would like to use. Setup option, click on save, it will cost you nothing. Every time you will save your files, it will align at least those indents and everything. So start with this and try not to leave mess in your code. Do not leave empty lines wherever in random places. Always review your code before submitting it for review to your colleagues. So clean it up. I hope it useful for some of you who want to improve your coding skills. See you in the next video.